Well, hi students. This presentation is on the substitution method, and as you can see, I have this little cheerleader here because you all requested this and asked for it. So finally, it's here, the substitution method. So here are the steps written out. The first thing you need to do is solve an equation for one variable, and it doesn't matter whether you solve it for y or x. You really want to pick the easiest one to solve for. Then you're going to substitute that information into the other equation. Then once you substitute that information into the other equation, now you have an equation that only has one distinct variable in it, so you can solve for that variable. Once you solve for that particular variable, you need to find the answer for the other variable, so you will plug back in to find the other variable, and then you can check your solution by substituting your ordered pair or your answer into both equations to see if the left side equals the right side. Alright, so it says solve the linear system using the substitution method. Let's say that you had 2x plus y equals 5, and you had x equals 4y plus 7. Now in this systems of equations here, notice that in one of the equations, the second equation, so let me label the equations as equation 1 here, and this is equation 2. In equation 2, notice that one of the variables is already set equal to everything else. So x is already alone on one side. Usually when this happens, it's easiest to use the substitution method because you know what x is, and all you have to do is substitute this information right here, 4y plus 7, into the other equation where you see an x, because x equals that. So substituting that information is perfectly legal in math because x equals 4y plus 7. Instead of writing an x here, you can change it out with 4y plus 7. So let's do that, and let me write substitute equation 2 into equation 1. Alright, and it's sort of nice if you even decide to write notes like this, because it'll let you know what your next step was doing. You can look back at your notes and you can determine what you were doing in that next step. So let's do it. We have 2, but instead of writing x, we're going to put a parenthesis. We're going to put 4y plus 7. Okay. Plus y equals 5. So what did I just do? I just rewrote the first equation back over, but instead of writing an x there, instead of writing 2x, I wrote what x was equivalent to, 4y plus 7. And now notice that I only have the y variable in my equation, therefore I can solve for y. So 2 times 4y is 8y. 2 times 7, 14. Plus y equals 5. Right? So we have like terms here. 8y and y. 8y and y is 9y. Plus 14 equals 5. Then you will subtract 14 from both sides. That cancels. Therefore, we have 9y equals negative 9. Divide by 9 and get y equals negative 1. So right now we have the answer for y, but we also need the answer for x. The easiest way to determine what x is choose an equation that makes it easier for us to solve for x. I want to choose the second equation here. So any of the equations that we're dealing with in our problem, either equation 1 or equation 2 or some variation of these equations, you can use. Okay, so let's use equation 2 since it's already solved for x. Okay, so we're gonna substitute now our answer, y equals -1, into equation 2. So equation 2 is x equals 4, and since we know what y is now, y is -1 plus 7. So we have x equals -4 plus 7, which equals 3. So x equals 3 and y equals -1. Therefore, our answer is, as an ordered pair, 3, -1. Okay. Always x goes first. To solve the linear system using the substitution method, you have 2x minus y equals 6, and 2x plus 2y equals -9. So now notice that you do not have a variable alone on one side. So what you're going to have to do is solve for one of the variables. Let's look at both of these equations. Now, it looks like equation 1, I would rather solve for y here. So see how y, all I have to do is probably just get 2x over here and then divide everything by -1, and then I'll have y by itself. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is solve for x or y in one of these equations. I'm going to choose the first equation, even though it doesn't matter. Okay, it looks like if I choose the second equation, I'll end up with some fractions. So I'm going to choose the first equation. So let's solve for y here. 2x minus y equals 6. Alright, so how would you solve for y? What you can do is get rid of this 2x by subtracting 2x. And let me see, can I write on this? Without it moving. Let's subtract 2x. Alright, subtract 2x from both sides. If you subtract 2x from this side, that cancels. If you subtract 2x from this side, nothing cancels, of course. What's remaining is still this -y equals -2x plus 6. Are we completely finished with solving for y? No, because there is a negative in front of the y and we have to get rid of it. So, of course, if you've been in my class, you understand by now that that negative means -1. So we need to divide by a -1, or just change all of your signs. So let's divide by -1, divide everything by -1, or it's not correct. So the answer is y equals 2x minus 6. Alright, so this is what equation 1 looks like when you solve for y. So these equations are the same thing. One is just solved for y and the other one is not. Alright, so we have y equals 2x minus 6 now. So let's move on to the next step. we're going to substitute that y equals 2x minus 6 into the second equation. Alright, so notice here, we write down 2x plus 2y equals negative 9 here, but since I know what y is, because I just solved for y, I can substitute this information into y. So 2x minus 6 here equals negative 9. Alright, and what you can do right now is pause the video to see whether or not you can solve for x right now, and then solve for y. Alright, so 2x plus 4x, and the 4x came from 2 times 2x is 4x. Then 2 times negative 6 is negative 12. And then we're going to we'll add 12 to both sides. And what we could have done is went ahead and added 2x plus 4x together. We get 6x equals 3. And to solve for x now, we need to divide by 6. And x equals 1/2. So we know what x equals. Now we got to figure out what y equals. Since x equals 1/2, what we can do is use this equation here, y equals 2x minus 6. Since y is already on one side, all I have to do is plug in a 1/2 into this equation. Alright, plug in 1/2. We get 2 times 1/2. So let me erase this here. Let's erase this so you can see what's going on. So again, it's y equals 2x minus 6. So right now all we're doing is using y equals 2x minus 6 and plugging in 1/2 into this equation here. 2 times 1/2. These numbers cancel out because 2 is over 1 and 2 is in the numerator, 2 is in the denominator, 2 divided by 2 is 1. That's why they cancel. So we have 1 minus 6, which is negative 5. So the answer is 1/2 negative 5. Second equation, 2x plus 3y equals 7, x minus 2y equals negative 7. Which equation looks as if you can solve for the variable the fastest route? When I look at it, I like equation 2 here because x is, see how x doesn't have a coefficient? And to get x by itself, it looks like I can just do that in one step. I can just add 2y to both sides. Alright, so let's add 2y to both sides now. So we add 2y, okay, this will cancel out, but you have on the right side 2y, and I'm putting this in descending order, 2y minus 7. Or you could have said negative 7 plus 2y, but I like to put it in descending order. Variable first with the highest exponent. Okay, now what do we do with this x equals 2y minus 7? Second step would be to substitute this information into the other equation that you did not do anything with. Alright, so it's that first equation, 2x plus 3y equals 7. So we're going to rewrite it down here, and since we have solved for x here, we're going to substitute that information into x. So 2y minus 7 goes here, and now we're going to distribute, get 4y, 2 times negative 7, it's minus 14, plus 3y equals 7. Now what would you do? You can add 14, you can put your like terms together. Go ahead and put your like terms together, you get 7y equals 21. How would you now solve for y? You would divide by 7. You get y equals 3. Okay, we're not done because we do not have the other coordinate x by itself. So, what we can do now is just substitute 3 into y. So we have 2y minus 7. Instead of writing a y, let's put 3 in its place and compute what x is. So it's 6 minus 7, which is negative 1. Therefore, the answer is negative 1, 3. Alright, let me digress here and put up a problem that I think you would need to know how to solve. So let's say that you were given y equals negative 3x plus 6 and y equals 2x minus 4. And I wanted you to practice the substitution method. So you could have done elimination or substitution method on all of these problems. But since we're talking about the substitution method, how would you solve this problem using substitution method? Now notice that both of these equations are solved for y here. Both of these equations are solved for y. And sometimes students get a little discombobulated by that. It's like, so what to do? Both the y's on the same side looks odd to them. So what you should do is, since you know what y equals in both situations, all you have to do is plug in that, for example, this y into this. Okay? Simple enough, right? Or you could have plug in this information into this y. So what will I choose? It really doesn't matter. I'm gonna say, since this is equation 1, this is equation 2, let's substitute equation 1 into equation 2. So it doesn't matter. So what I'm going to do is, instead of writing y equals 2x minus 4, let me write that down again. So let me rewrite y equals 2x minus 4. Instead of writing this y here, since I know that y also equals negative 3x plus 6, I'm going to replace this y with negative 3x plus 6. So negative 3x plus 6 equals 2x minus 4. So basically all I'm saying is, instead of writing a y, I'm putting negative 3x plus 6 in its place because y equals negative 3x plus 6. And what we can do now is just solve for the letter x. So what I'll do, we can add 3x to both sides. Add 3x, and this cancels. And you have 6 equals 2x plus 3x is 5x minus 4. And then what you can do is add 4 to both sides. So let me add 4 to this side, add 4 to that side. That cancels. So we have 5x on this side, we have 10 on this side, divide by 5, and we get 2. X equals 2. Now we need to figure out what y is. So it doesn't matter which equation you use, equation 1 or equation 2. Let's just use equation 2, okay? Y equals 2x minus 4. What we're going to do is substitute x equals 2. Where did the 2 come from? We just said that our answer for x is 2. So all we're doing is substituting that information back in. So y equals 4 minus 4, which equals 0. Therefore, our answer is the ordered pair 2, 0. Right? You can always check these answers by plugging in x and y into both of these equations. For example, we said that x is 2, y is 0. Therefore, if I wanted to check let's put it up here. I'm saying that y is 0 equals -3 times x, which is 2, plus 6. Is that a true statement? We have 0 equals -6 plus 6, 0 equals 0. Correct. Let's check the second equation. We said that y, which is 0, we say, equals 2 times x, again 2, minus 4. Is this a true statement? 0 equals 4 minus 4. 0 equals 0. This is a true statement. Therefore, you can always check to see whether your answer is correct by plugging this information into both of your equations. And if both are correct, then you know that your ordered pair is correct. Alright, let's try this one. Here, -2x plus y equals 0, -x plus y equals 2. That just solved the first equation for y. And it doesn't matter. You could have solved equation 2 for y as well. Both would work. Now, if we solve for y here, what would you do to get this -2x out of the way? So you would add 2x to both sides. And once you do that, you get y equals 2x. Now you substitute y equals 2x into the other equation that you did not use. So the other equation is -x plus y equals 2. So we're going to substitute 2x for y here. We get -x plus 2x equals 2, which is x equals 2. What will we do to find y? We just substitute x equals 2 back into that y equals 2x equation, and we get y equals 4. So our answer is